Hey, welcome. My name is Nick Edwards. I'm a life leadership and business coach, and I guide leaders to greater results. Whether I'm working with a small entrepreneur or nationwide company, one of the things that I realize is that everybody has these big dreams. Everybody wants to be able to grow their business to the next level. And one of the things I've learned throughout this process that really catapults certain companies, certain organizations, even certain teams to the next level is their ability to communicate. Your ability to communicate allows you to influence others, allows you to lead others, and to be able to speak their language. So today I want to take a few minutes and talk to you about the DISC personality styles. A DISC personality assessment is one of the greatest tools that companies can use. Now, you can't use it for hiring, but it can be something that you use in your hiring process. We'll talk about that in one of the later episodes. But one of the things we need to understand is that everyone thinks differently. And as they think differently, they speak different languages. And how quickly you can understand someone's language and understand how they think and how they process information allows you as the leader to make sure they're on the right seat of the bus as part of the right team and using their gifts and their abilities with the greatest influence. So how do we do this? And how do we know what these different personality styles are and how we use them to our maximum impact of our team, ourselves, and our greater organization? Today, we're going to take a few minutes and talk about just one of these personality styles, and that is the D, the dominant personality style of the DISC. When you look at this, you understand that out of these four personalities, the D's and I's are more outgoing personalities. They are more out front, and they are able to really lead in a different way. Our C's and S's, they are more reserved in how they respond and how they make decisions and even how they communicate. Our D's and C's are task-oriented, and our I's and S's are people-oriented. Just looking at this briefly, you understand that you know people and you think differently with different people. When you understand these truths, that people speak different languages and they process differently, it makes a huge impact. So let's unpack this and let's look at our D personality. How do we understand the D personality and how do we communicate with them? Who are they? What do we need to know? And how do we communicate with them? Well, the D is a driver. They are the ones who want to get things done. They are the ones who want to captain the ship and drive the train. They are the ones that if you go out to eat lunch today, they're probably going to be the ones driving. They ask questions like, what do we need to do? They are action-oriented. They ask questions like, why can't we get this done or consider it done? If you want to challenge a D, bet that they can't do something and they will prove that it can be done and they will do it at the highest level. The D's are all about the bottom line. They are about getting things done and getting things quickly. And if you don't get it done, someone else will. Now, who is this D? Who is the driver in your organization or maybe even in your family or in your friend group? Well, the driver is direct. They are outspoken. A lot of times they even can be forceful and run people over and they don't even know that they're doing it. They have a high capacity for leadership and a high drive to move things forward. They really struggle to just sit and be idle. They always want to move forward and they are always focused on results. When it comes to decision makings, D's are decisive. D's believe that a decision is better than no decision, and a decision now is better than a delayed decision. So they drive things forward. They're outspoken. They're forceful even at times. They're results-oriented, and they make decisions quickly. Now, what motivates the D? Well, the D's greatest fear is a loss of control or being taken advantage of. They believe they're the driver of the ship, and therefore they are moving the organization forward. That means they are the spokesperson and the protector. And so the idea of being stabbed in the back is a deep core to them. It also shows that they've lost control. Now, D's have control issues. They want to control everything they can in their life, and they know it's not always possible. But their core motivation is achieving results. They are the ones who get stuff done, and they achieve the results for both their lives and for the team. And speaking of the team, they bring great value to the team because they bring about action. Where other personalities may be slow to make a decision or slow to take action, they ignite decisions, they ignite action, and they move the organization forward. Not only do they move forward, but they provide clear direction. They say, this is where we're going, this is what's going to happen, and this is what the process looks like. They don't get bogged down in the details. They are very vision focused and mission focused. Vision is where we're going, and mission is how we are getting there. They tackle big challenges. And so if you have a big challenge for a team, give it to the D. Say, can you create a plan for this? How do we go win? Because a D always wants to be able to win in life and on his team. And so they take on big, huge projects. Men and women who are Ds, they are not afraid to do hard things. But with that, they have some blind spots. What are those blind spots? Well, they can be impatient at times. They can be a little blunt. We've mentioned that. They can even be a little of too much risk. They're willing to do too many hard things and take on too many big tasks because they don't believe that anything can slow them down. Now, with that comes this idea of being cold or being insensitive to people. It's also a little bit of a blind spot that they can be doing too many big projects and not take something across the finish line. So for the Ds, you need to understand you can't take every challenge, but you have to take the right challenge that moves the needle the most. And with it, they create a little bit of tension. And we're going to look at how they interact with different personalities in the I, the S, and the C, and why understanding these blind spots and understanding these key things about a D allows them to be either in a great position to lead a team and to have an impact on a team, or it has a negative effect because they can't communicate with each other. So if you have someone who's on your team, don't try to micromanage them. If you are the leader, don't try to put them in a box and limit what they can do and how they go about it. Tell them, here's the goal. How do we go achieve it? The manager has to trust the D. You have to equip them, give them the resources, give them everything they need to succeed, and tell them, let's go do this, and give them the opportunity. You can't micromanage a D. When you micromanage them, you're putting a ceiling on them. And by putting a ceiling on them, they desire to work less, or they will run you over or leave the organization. So you can manage the process, but you can't micromanage them. Give them the destination, give them the keys, and tell them to go run. Now, here's where it gets really important. If you're communicating with a D, it's important to know a few things. Number one, be direct, be brief. Be to the point. We're going to talk about how the I's and S's may want to tell stories or build rapport with a D, but the D wants 1, 2, 3, and let's move on. Focus on what, not how. What are we going to do? Where are we going to go? Not how is it going to get done. D's are big picture. They don't like getting in the weeds. They don't like looking at all the micro details like a C personality would. But they want to know what are we going to do, and they will create a plan. That part of the communication playbook is this: provide options, not instructions. Ask them their feedback. Ask them how they think it would be best to go about this project. When you give a D some direction, some very direct points, 1, 2, 3, and move on, you tell them, let's get here, you get the very best out of them. So how does each of the different personalities react with a D? If you're an I is a big personality. They are the center of attention. They love the spotlight, and they do things like storytelling and sales and connecting to people. If you're an I, you need to know that your instinct is to build rapport, to tell stories, and to make sure that you have a social time with a meeting with a D. But they have a different need. And their need is 1, 2, 3, and move on. So if an I, you're going to have to temper your small talk. You're going to have to slow down on that and be more excited about the vision and the outcome than just what you want to talk about life, your stories, about your neighbor's friend's dog who got lost. And you want to tell them all these stories, but a D wants 1, 2, 3, let's move on. If you're an S is the steady, loyal, hardworking, get things done behind the scenes person. Your instinct is going to be to seek peace, to seek harmony, and to make sure that everyone has a role and that everyone is accepted. Now, the challenge for you as an S, if you're an S, just listen to this, Kay. Your challenge is going to be more bold and more blunt than you feel comfortable. It's going to be hard and it's going to be difficult for you, and this will be your challenge. But if you want to connect and communicate with someone who is very driven, then you have to think and speak their language. Listen, as an S, you are more likely to be offended or to have your feelings hurt or to feel isolated or to avoid confrontation than any other personality. Ds are never offended. Ds are okay with hard things. And so you cannot say something to a D and feel like, oh, if I say this to them like this, they're going to be offended or their feelings are going to be hurt. That's just not the reality for a D. And then the C's. If you lead with a C, you are a critical thinker. You think in details. You think 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 98. And you're thinking through every bit of steps and every bit of the process. You want to provide data and more information. But the D doesn't want all the information from you. They want the key points of information from you. What are the 1 or 2 most important things that you need to bring to the conversation? Lead with the conclusion in mind. If we're going to get here, this is the most important thing we need to know. It captures their attention. Then you can provide the details and analysis that you need based upon the vision of where you're going as a team, as an organization, or as a company. When you speak their language, everything begins to change. We want people to speak our language. It's understandable. That's just who we are. But when we begin to understand that when we speak their language, it actually gives us more influence, things begin to change. We actually grow our influence. We grow our opportunities by speaking their language. So if you're working with a D, see the motivation, give them the will, and speak their language. Ds are drivers. They want to get things done. So give them the opportunity to be rock stars on your team who lead well, who conquer challenges, and do great things. Don't be afraid to give them a challenge and see what they do. These 4 personality types are amazing when they work together. When we use each other's strengths for the betterment of the team and for the organization, everyone gets better. But we have to understand that as leaders, when we can understand someone else's language and go speak their language, it makes everyone around us better and it gives us more influence as the leader. So know your personality type, know your strengths, know your struggles, know your blind spots, know how you communicate, and most importantly, know how you communicate with others. When you do this, this will allow you to continue to influence, continue to grow, and grow in the most important way, and that's through communication. Hey, thank you for joining us for this session of DISC Personality Styles. Again, my name is Nick Edwards. To find out more information, you can go to myleadershipcoach.org.